Hi everyone, Audrey here. Welcome back to my channel, At Home with Audrey. So today I am going to show you how to make yarn or string Christmas trees. This is really easy and it's probably stuff that you already have at home. So the materials you are going to need are poster board, yarn. I prefer the fluffy yarn. It looks really good on these trees. I chose this one because it has some glitter in it, but it's not gonna give us as nice of a texture as these nice fluffier yarns. And these also hold a lot more starch, which is another material you need. You need liquid starch and plastic wrap, tape, and scissors. So how you're gonna start making your tree is with your poster board forming a cone. So you're kind of just gonna shape your cone and do your first cut. So the reason I am using poster board to make the trees is because you can make a bunch of different sizes and shapes. You can make them tall and skinny or short and fat or however you want to make them. And I saw people do this online, but they use the foam floral cone. And it also cuts off at the top, so you have to make like a paper cone, and it's basically doing this and putting it on top of foam, and I just thought it was silly. So you just are gonna use your poster board and form it into a cone, whatever shaped cone you like. And then you're gonna tape it. Okay, so once you have your tree formed, you're just gonna cut off the bottom. And you wanna cut it off so your tree stands nice and level. Like that's not level, so keep cutting it until you get a tree that stands up nice and tall, like that. And then, once you have your trees formed out of your poster board, you are going to wrap them in saran wrap. And wrapping in saran wrap will make it so the paper won't absorb the liquid starch, and it'll also make it really easy to just slide your yarn off the tree once it's dry. And now this is ready to wrap with your yarn soaked in liquid starch. Okay. So I have all of my trees covered in plastic wrap. So your next step is going to be taking your liquid starch and pouring it in a bowl. This project kind of makes a mess, but it cleans up really easy. So it's not a big deal. Okay, so you want to find the end to your yarn and unroll a bunch of it. Once you have your yarn unraveled, you're gonna put the end closest to the yarn ball into your starch and just put it in backwards than you would think, because if you start with your loose end, it's gonna be at the bottom and you're just gonna keep getting knots when you're pulling it out. The reason I don't cut just one piece of yarn really long is because it might not be enough, and it's a lot neater and cleaner if you just have one long piece that you wrap up and down instead of cutting a bunch of different pieces. Don't lose your end. And then just soak it. Want to get it all good and goopy in there. And it's gonna absorb all that starch. If you need more, just pour more in. Start with this one. So I like to start at the bottom, and when you do the bottom, you're gonna want quite a few rounds of yarn because that's your base. If you don't have enough, it's gonna like fall down on itself or end up being crooked. And then all I do is I kind of just take it and wrap it up the tree. And you can kind of go back down and around and up. You don't want to squeeze all the starch out of it, or else it's just not going to be ending up being stiff enough to hold the shape of the tree, and you're just going to end up like with a slinky. And that's why I like the thicker yarn ends up working a lot better. I tried this out and I was using a thinner string and it just fell down on itself. It didn't stay as stiff as it needed to stay to keep the shape of the tree. So then I just kind of start wrapping down. And kind of fill in gaps. Okay, so I'm getting here towards the end, and all you're gonna wanna do is cut your piece of string and then find a spot where it's gonna go and just kind of tuck it in so you won't see it and it stays nice and secure. So again, I just got a bunch of it off. This is really thick, chunky stuff. I think it'll be really fun. The only problem is that it's not gonna be all soft and fluffy like this on the tree. So just don't have high hopes that your tree's gonna be all soft and fluffy like this. And when your tree's all wet like this, make sure you're pulling it from the top and not pulling all this off, or else you're gonna unravel the whole thing and have to start over. So we're back a few days later, and all of my yarn has dried onto the cones. So I'm ready to take it off. Just remember, these fluffier ones will take a few days, like up to 7 days to fully dry all the way through. So be really patient, but this thin stuff only takes a day or two. So I just kind of push around in here to get the yarn to unstick to the plastic, and then just gently pull it off of here. And they might be a little bit floppy, that's okay, because they'll just give them some character. And then you just are gonna take all of them off of there. When you're wrapping your yarn around your cone, make sure you do thicker ones like this one and this one. This one over here, I have too many gaps, so I'm actually gonna go back and put another layer of yarn on top because it won't stay together. So just make sure you do a lot of yarn and don't put all these gaps through this one, like this one has. Here I have set up my yarn Christmas trees for my Christmas tablescape, and I have collected these glass and crystal candle holders from thrift stores. And so I just did all these different crystal candle holders with blue candles, my yarn Christmas tree, and then these bottle brush holders that I got, I think I got most of them actually at Target. Thank you so much for watching. If you like my video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much.